Honestly, the hard truth, quality technical documentations to be able to make informed decisions regarding products and/or system selection. So if we're looking at within the specification, how are you able to have me make an informed decision regarding a selection that is in square brackets within that section? So how we do this is actually by spec notes. Properly detailed specification notes or spec notes above any decisions that need to be made by the editor help educate that editor before making that informed decision, so that at the end they are aware that the decisions they've made have trickle effect and coordinated throughout the section, coordinated throughout the specification and the project manual because of the spec notes that were provided within that section. Also understanding what elements are required within the spec to make decision selections informative and simplistic for the end user. We're trying to build easy to use documents so that the end user, that the author, the spec writer, whoever on the project that is the one tasked with compiling the specifications and actually editing the specifications, use those product master specs. Basically, we have to break the _spec-NATO, and this is a term that we've created to talk about this copy-paste approach that we see in specification writing and that we're really trying to spearhead against. So what is this _spec-NATO? It really is what I like to call a repetitive cycle that I keep seeing within the industry where, for example, on a regular basis, I meet with product sales representatives to talk shop, introduce new products, talk about updates to existing materials or systems that we have in our specification. In terms of what is this _spec-NATO, it really is this system or cycle that we see repeat itself project after project after project. And what is that? It's where that product master spec is provided to me. So you're coming in and you want to speak with me. I'm a spec writer, 20 years. You want to get in on our project. You come to me, we have a meeting, we discuss product, and you say, here you go, Mark, here's our 3-part master spec. We want you to use this on your next project. That's great. Well, let's fast forward. I may be a week later sitting down at 2 a.m. ready to write this one because of our workload. You don't know, especially now in this new world where working from home, work-life balance, and the capability of turning on your computer at 6 a.m. and working until 2 a.m. are possible. And we do. So sometimes I'm opening up a project pretty late at night, getting into it, and I see that the product master spec that's been provided to me is missing some key information. It's missing information I need to properly tender this spec. So to save some time, to save some headache, and again, to not populate a spec that's not my own, I go and I decide to recycle a section I've used on a previous project. I decide, you know what, I can't use this product master spec. It doesn't have what I need. I'm going to pull a project spec I just issued a couple months ago, and I'm going to reuse that. Maybe that project specification was written by somebody else or authored by somebody else. They had removed some things or added some clauses that may not be required on this project, and now we have them out for tender on this project. So now we have some change orders, we see some delays, we see addenda, we may even see legal issues depending on how bad or how big of a gap we're missing depending on the copy paste that we may have done on a project that had no right doing that. We didn't start necessarily from a master. And then contract admin, once the project closes and now we're in the construction phase, your contract admin now spends time cleaning up all these messes that were created by recycled specs because we didn't have proper 3-part master specs, and the _spec-NATO repeats on the next project. Now the phone picks up 6 months later and the technical rep comes in for a meeting, they provide a spec, and we eat, sleep, repeat. We have to break this _spec-NATO. We got to start providing 3-part product master specs with the detailed information required for the end user to be able to tender those sections. That's the only way we're going to break this _spec-NATO.